Hello, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club. Yes, I know, I've been gone for a long time, but, you know, with Halloween and all this stuff going on, and Thanksgiving, I put this off. I put off recording for a while, for about a month, actually. So, I'm back and ready to play some Doki Doki Literature Club. Alright, yeah. This is the only save file left. Alright. See, I leave these games for months. And I come back with my dumbest decision to being called Big Daddy. Yeah. Such a fucking idiot. Okay. And since it's been maybe 2 months since I last played this game, I forgot the voices. So, just gonna make up new voices. New voices. Hi again, Big Daddy. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Ha ha ha. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the Literature Club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Yuri, what happened with your face? What happened to your face, Yuri? Something happened there. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Oops. I just skipped that dialogue. Sorry about that. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Natsuki, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need a nap? Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. I remember Natsuki's voice, because I was just my own little valley girl, like, oh my god, so fucking stupid. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us serious... I just noticed something. The screen is tilted. Look at that. Is that a fucking Dutch angle? Jesus. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Monica, you are small, while the other girls are large. And you're in front of the dialogue. Thank you very much, Monica. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Big Daddy. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glaze. I said shirts? forgive me. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have an interest in picking up a book to read. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now. So it only feels right for me to do something like that, if you ask. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No. It's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know what? What could we do? Well, there's many things we could do. We could have we could no, wait, that wouldn't work. We could fuck it. Discuss it if you wanted to. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. Can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the very first few pages. Crap! I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I do that a lot often. Like sometimes I just get the 1,000-yard stare and think about my life. What brought me to this point in my life? What can I change? What can I add? What can I take away? While facing your meaning to life, your own interpretation of that, please subscribe to Unis Honest. Because that YouTube channel is going to be gone this time next year. Unis Honest is Latin, not Italian, Spanish, and I believe Portuguese and French. Portuguese is basically French and Spanish mixed together. So the main languages to derive from Latin are Spanish and Italian. So when I said Italian, I wasn't 100% wrong. I was 98.5634% wrong, and that number I just grabbed out my ass because I do that. Okay, back to the game. I muttered this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so hang on a second, guys. Sorry guys, I had to grab a tissue, and apparently this is my last one. I know. Ooh, what have you been doing with those other tissues? Hey, that's none of your goddamn fucking business. Yes, like I've stated in my Minecraft video from 5 years ago, this is not a channel dedicated to kids. I do not make content for kids. Kids may watch my content, but that does not mean that I exclusively record videos for kids. I was about to sneeze there for a second, but I couldn't find the strength. I'm just gonna heat up a cup of coffee. I've been so tired recently after pushing myself at work. Oh, I didn't notice. Yuri's, what would that be? Hang on, let me check. Her right eye, our left. I didn't notice that her eye was hanging off of her face. Really need to clean these spoons better. Oh. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Now her face is back to normal. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Ah, well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, and that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. And I will never sing that song. Because that song is fucking annoying. I'll definitely start reading it soon. Good, got some hot coffee. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about, anyway? Let me take a sip of my coffee. What's the story about, anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is entitled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. Probably should have just been happy with the cup of coffee at the temperature that it was. That was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people into cutting off their limbs and affixing them to. Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. Sounds like one hell of a book. The book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of, it's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was gonna be a nice story. So that dark turn came from nowhere. Or, using baseball terminology, out of left field. Ah. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Big Daddy? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, and I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil. But because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway, then suddenly... I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts. My whole body gets incredibly... I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. Oh yeah, like what you just said never happened. I don't believe that for a goddamn fucking second. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. Sorry guys, I have a blanket underneath my butt. And I needed to get it out from underneath there. And I accidentally hit you guys. Sorry about that. That just means you're passionate about reading. Oh, excuse me. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. Ah, that's... Well, that's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it right. Might as well start reading it, right? I was looking at my coffee cup when that happened. So all I saw was just like redness and darkness and dirty bean juice. Perfect. Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but what are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just that it's something that I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone else. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. You or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. Just the kitchen behind me. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just bathing in the heat of your body. Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here. This should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. Ah, I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. Scandalous! It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. Excuse me? Need to get more coffee. Okay. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. Ah, I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn her page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, We're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Eh? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses herself. The way she second guesses things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. I almost choked on that bit of coffee. Excuse me. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet, so I don't know why it came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest, as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Big Daddy? Did something happen just now? Huh? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything. Sorry. Sorry, can't say that I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Yet. Don't worry. I believe you. Silly. Yuri just does this sometimes. It's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? Huh? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book and slip it back into my bag. Who should I show my poem to first? Let's go with Natsuki. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Well, it's about what I expected from someone like you. That's a little blunt. Well, excuse me. It's not like I said it was bad. It just didn't evoke any emotions. So basically, it's not cute enough for your tastes. Do you want to get smacked? I'll pass. Well, anyway, I guess I need to show you mine. Not that you'll like it. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try, but that's about it. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. But just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. Sorry guys, I need to put my coffee creamer back into the fridge so it doesn't spoil. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like it when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight in the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Who should I show my poem to next? Monica. Hi, Big Daddy. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Always. Forever. Listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Big Daddy. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? Well, it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. Hand Monica my poem. Great job! I was going, ooh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing though, but sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so I don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly, the door opens. Yuri! I'm back! Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Huh? Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know. I see. Well, let's read it then. Come on, Karen, give it up then. That was a horrible thing. That was a horrible attempt at an accent. Hole in wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears? The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right here. There. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. Talking about symbolism. Like Yuri's into symbolism. But this is super symbolic. Especially this phrase right here. There must be a way out. Yeah. Of course there has to be a way out. So, what did you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big, dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Who should I show my poem to next? Yuri. As Yuri reads the poem.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you. Could you please repeat what you said?
I wasn't talking to you.
I'm sorry. I'll try harder.
Oh my god, Jesus. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional! What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yes, asshole, we know that you have a souped up fucking four-wheel drive car. No one fucking cares. Yuri first covers her mouth. You guys heard that. I got a souped up car, so I'm just gonna hit the gas at the same time. I'm so much better than you. Fucking asshole. Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphor indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and then they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. When Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a single poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice, and learning by example, and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though. Hang on, guys. Need to clean off my glasses. Need to clean off my glasses. My glasses. My glasses. Much better. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which, itself, is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? We've already read this poem, so I'm gonna skip it. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? You haven't played Tuber Simulator? You know it's fun, right? You still haven't downloaded after 50 million outros? Oh wait, sorry, that was an old PewDiePie meme. Now, I forget what game he advertises now. I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Ah, well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Eh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was very descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Big Daddy, you fucking retard. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. The fuck is that supposed to mean, Yuri? You think I'm stupid? You think you're better than me? But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. Eh? It's not thing, really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah, if anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep doing my best for you, Big Daddy. Ah. Me too. Phew! I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my... It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sighed. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. What? Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Eh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Ah, thanks. Yours is... cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple of suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monica liked it, and he liked it too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And he liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. That's not what I... You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that he appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew size bigger as soon as he started showing up. Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you taking out your own insecurities on others like that. You really act as young as you look, Natsuki. Me? Look who's talking, you wannabe edgy bitch. Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is a little too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? I'm just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know. If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Whoa, be careful or you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad. You already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let him hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Suddenly, Yuri turns towards me as if she just noticed I was standing there. She's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. How did I get... I'm trying to fuck Yuri. Let me choke! Let me fucking choke! Hey, why don't we step outside for a little bit? Okay? Sorry about that. They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. She quickly runs away. Oh dear. Well, it looks like they're done. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Yuri is rocking back and forth in her desk with her palms on her forehead. Yuri? I didn't mean it! I believe you. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did. Big Daddy, please don't hate me. Please. I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget it all about it by tomorrow. Completely and utterly forget it. Completely. Anyway, the meeting is over, so you can go home now if you want. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monica. You can go first, Monica. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done. Well, I'm vice president, so please let me take that responsibility today. Kinda sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not that. It's not that. I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with him. It would just be embarrassing with you listening. I guess I don't really have a choice, do I? I'm sorry for causing trouble, but I really appreciate the understanding. And that, my fellow YouTubers, is where we are going to stop. So, subscribe, like, and leave a comment to tell me how I'm doing. That conversation took a hell of a lot out of me. So, this is where I'll leave you guys. I've been going for about an hour. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see all of you in the next video, motherfuckers. Bye!